And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Before we get into today's video, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. So there's a lot to unpack in today's video. Of course, we are in the midst of the January transfer window, and finally things are starting to heat up with regards to potential incomings, as we have nearly agreed a deal for a player to be our first signing of this winter window. So very exciting stuff there. But as you can tell by the title, it is massive Celtic transfer news, one in, one out. So let's start with the player that could be set to leave this month in the next coming days. So of course that is Marco Tilio. We mentioned probably about 2 months ago now that he may be one of the players that goes out on loan in January to get some first team football, and that now does seem to be the case. So of course when we signed him, he was kind of billed to be one of the top talents down under, but so far as we are in the halfway point of this season, he's only made 2 appearances for Celtic, so not a great return for what we kind of expected when we signed him. Of course, injuries have played into that a little bit, but Brenan Rogers has spoken out about how he's kind of struggled to adapt to the new league and stuff like that when he has made appearances in the team. So now a January departure does look very, very likely, with the player himself also hinting at an exit this month while speaking to the media ahead of the Asian Cup. So the Daily Record also are now saying that multiple loan offers are on the table for Tilio, but the teams that are interested have yet to be named. But it is being kind of speculated between the club. The ideal situation is that he would go out on loan somewhere in Scotland for the reasons we previously mentioned about him struggling to adapt to the league. So ideally he goes out on loan to a team in the league, he gets used to the league, gets better with the league, and he comes back to Celtic end of the season a lot better and more adapted to Scottish football. So it's not, no teams have been mentioned just yet, but expect Marco Tilio to exit the club at some point this January on a loan deal, and ideally it will be somewhere in Scotland as well. So that's the player that could be set to leave. Now the player that is set to join is of course Nicholas Kuhn. We mentioned him yesterday, how Celtic put a bid in for him, but it was initially rejected. Now we have had a deal agreed, apparently, according to Sky Sports. And the fee that was kind of being thrown around initially was around £2 million, but it seems now the fee is around £2.8 million for him. So Nicholas Kuhn, obviously, we're going to kind of give you a little background on him if you guys aren't too familiar with him, because obviously, like me as well, when I was initially heard his name, I'd never really heard of him before, so I did some research on him, and I've kind of wrote some interesting things to know about the player when he does initially join the club. You are kind of more knowledgeable on his situation and where he's come from and his story as a footballer so far. So of course he is 24 years old, he plays for Rapid Vienna in the Austrian league right now, but he started his football journey at St. Pauli, but made a name for himself at Hannover 96, and then shone through RB Leipzig's under-19s. Ajax then snapped him up in 2018 for £2 million, hoping to turn him into a superstar, but things took a twist when Bayern Munich loaned him for 6 months before making that move permanent after he signed a 3-year contract with the German Giants. So it's always worth mentioning when you mention these kind of younger players, obviously 24 years old, still relatively young, not at his peak right now, that's for sure. It's always worth kind of looking at their past clubs, and it kind of gives you an insight on where his potential used to be at, where people thought he could play. Of course, looking at Ajax and Bayern Munich does say a lot about the player himself. Teams used to think this guy had great potential. Obviously, to sign him for £2 million in 2018 when he was, 18 years old, just shows a lot of faith in him as a player. So he did eventually obviously end up at Rapid Vienna in 2022 when he joined them for £500,000. So not probably worked out how Ajax would have wanted him to when they initially signed him. Obviously took a loss on him, or they sold him to Bayern Munich and then Bayern sold him to Rapid Vienna, but there's a bit of loss there in terms of transfer fees. But of course, 24 years old, he kind of probably will be now looking to get his career back on track a little bit. And going from Rapid Vienna to Celtic is a massive upgrade for him. He's on a bigger stage, a bigger name club, and hopefully he can make the most of this chance that he's been given. So obviously mentioned yesterday, he's a left footer and he can play anywhere up front, so very versatile in the forward positions. And I've seen some highlights going around on Twitter of him as well. He looks like a very, very good player, very exciting player indeed. So looking forward to that one. Hopefully that can be announced in the next few days. But as things stand right now, the fee that has been thrown around, that has been agreed, is £2.8 million for Nicholas Kuhn from Rapid Vienna to Celtic. So, just personal terms now to need to be agreed, then it is a done deal. And then he's the first player through the door this January. So very exciting stuff, of course. Let me know what you make of that down in the comment section below. I think our main target now needs to be a left back this January, get another left back in through the door, and then see what happens from there. But guys, let me know what you make of this signing down below in the comment section. And also let me know what you make of Marco Tilio going out on loan. Drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.